Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are on Tajweed Class 2. This is Book 3 of Tajweed Rules of the Quran by Karima Carol Serapinski. We started with the first lesson, which was on the stop, how to stop, which places stop is allowed, which is not allowed. So we did the first one as complete stop. In complete stop, we saw that this is the best place to stop on. And what is the reason for it? Because here the meaning is also complete, and also it is not attached in grammatical expression also with the next words. And you can directly start on the following words. The second one which we saw is the sufficient stop. Now this one, it is advisable that you stop on it, and you can start with what follows, just as how in the complete stop. This is waqful kafi. It's sufficient. Why? Because grammatically it's not attached to the next one. But meaning wise, it is connected to what follows. So meaning wise, it is connected with the next one, but grammatically it's not attached, so you can stop over here. So that is what is sufficient stop. What we will do today is from page number 6, which is al-waqful hasan, the good stop. The good stop by definition is when you stop somewhere where the meaning is complete, but it is attached to what follows grammatically and also in meaning. In both, it is attached to what follows. Now, it could be attached grammatically, like stopping on a word that has an adjective. Like in Arabic, what happens is if you have adjectives, they are written after the word. Like how in English we say big house or a big grand house. So if you have two adjectives, both of them come before. Whereas in Arabic, you will say house big, grand, like that. So you may have a word and you may have adjectives after it. So grammatically, that is attached with this. You cannot leave it out alone. So if you're stopping on a sentence without the statement which is joining to the next one, this is called a good stop. Grammatically and in meaning, it is attached to what follows it. Meaning wise, it is complete, but it is attached with the following part. Another possibility is when you stop on an exceptional statement without the exception stated. Okay, there is a statement which mentions some exceptions, but you just stop there and you have not stated the exceptions. Al-Waqful Hasan, where can it be found? At the end of an ayah or in the middle of an ayah also, just as how the other stops are there. Why is it called Hasan? Because stopping on it leads to understanding of a meaning. There is a meaning which is complete, which is understood. That is why it is Hasan. It is good to stop on it, it's Hasan, but it is not good to start on what follows it. Why? Because grammatically and in meaning it is attached to the previous one. Exception is, of course, this can come at the end of an ayah also. So at the end of an ayah, it is allowed. There you can stop and continue with the next one, because stopping at the end of an ayah is sunnah. Like for example, in Surah Al-Fatiha, ayah number 2, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Here the meaning is complete. But if you see Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, it is continuation of the meaning and of the grammatical aspects of the previous ayah. Because it is adjectives, it is describing Rabbil Alameen. Then you have another one. This is from Surah Al-Baqarah. الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون, who believe in the unseen and they perform prayer and spend out of what we have provided for them. Now some scholars may consider a particular stop Hasan. Okay, here the stop is where the asterisk is marked over here. Who believe in the unseen. الذين يؤمنون بالغيب. Here the meaning is complete. But if you see the next one, were is and, so it's joining with the previous one. And the meaning is continuing, that it is talking about alladhina, those who yu'minuna bil ghaib, those who believe in the unseen. and those who. So this those who is connected with the previous one. So in meaning and in grammatical aspects, it is connected. But you can stop here. But it is advisable that you don't continue from the next one. You go back and join it because it's grammatically and meaning wise attached. Now, some scholars may consider a particular stop Hasan, whereas others will say that it is kafi or sufficient, and still others may say that it is tam or complete. Now, difference of opinion comes why? Because of variances in conclusions as to how the grammatical sentence is made up, because of the way that they would connect up the meaning. Then there is the next stop, which is repulsive stop, al-waqf al-qabih. Qabih is a stop on what does not give a correct meaning. So if you stop here, it will not give you a correct meaning. And due to its strong attachment to what follows in grammar as well as meaning, both of them. So it would be qabih if one stopped on the adjective without the noun, such as in this one in Surah Al-Maryam, ayah number 2, dhikru rahmati rabbik. This is a mention of the mercy of your Lord. So if you say this is a mention, dhikru, and you stop there. Now this one is attached to the next one. Mention of what? Mention of the mercy of your Lord. Dhikru rahmati rabbik, of the mercy of your Lord. So grammar as well as meaning is very much attached to the next one. So if you're just stopping on the adjective, which is dhikru, that's a mention, and you're not mentioning the noun, that mention of what. So there, this is a repulsive stop. Also, if you stopped on the verb is an action without the subject. Now, whenever you have a verb in Arabic, how are the sentences that whenever you have an action, the default way to say the sentence is the action, then the one who is doing the action, and then the one on whom the action is being done. So if you stop on a verb without the subject meaning on what the action is being done, then that also is qabih. Like for example, in Surah Al-Ma'idah, ayah number 115, we have قال الله إني منزلها عليكم. If you just say قال and stop, this is qabih, because you're not giving the subject. Like qala, who said, qala Allahu, you cannot break it in between, because qala will mean he said, so qala Allahu will mean Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. So you cannot stop in between like that. Inni munazziluha alaykum, I am going to send it down unto you. There are many examples of these. Al-waqful qabih is not limited to just these categories. Anytime a phrase is incomplete in grammar and in meaning, then that is qabih. Some other examples in Surah Al-Fatiha, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. But if you just stop at Alhamdu Lillahi, that is wrong, because this is grammatically attached. Alhamdu, for whom? All praises be to Allah. So Lillah, Alhamdu Lillah is joined in meaning as well as grammatically. Now, for those of you who may not understand the grammatical attachments, that would come to you when you study the sciences of Arabic grammar, and the two basic ones to do in those would be Nahu and Sarf, which is very important, these two. Then you have another examples for Qabih, stop, Surah Al-Anbiya. يَوْمَ نَطْوِي السَّمَاءَ كَطَيِّ السِّجِلِّ لِلْكُتُبِ. Now here the asterisk is given on we shall roll up, and remember the day when we shall roll up. يَوْمَ نَطْوِي السَّمَاءَ, the day on which we shall roll up. As-sama is the heavens or the sky, like a scroll rolled up for books. So if you just stop at يَوْمَ نَطْوِي and remember the day when we shall roll up, that is qabih, because you're not mentioning the subject. Natwi what? Roll up what? As-samaa qatayyi sijilli qatayyi sijilli lil kutub, like a scroll rolled up for books. Then Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 51. وَإِذْ وَاعَدْنَا مُوسَى 40 لَيْلَةً. And remember when we appointed for Musa 40 nights. If you just stop at 40, وَإِذْ وَاعَدْنَا مُوسَى 40 or 40, if you stop here, Arba'in what? Because it is connected. Arba'in, 40 nights. You cannot just stop at Arba'in. Now, there are degrees of repulsiveness in Waqful Qabih, where one stop can be more repulsive or aqbah than another place. Stopping on a phrase with no meaning. Alhamdu, Bismi. Okay. Now, if you stop on a word signifying a meaning other than what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants, then that now stopping on a phrase with no meaning, again there are classifications in this, and one is more repulsive than the other. Like in this example, Surah Al-An'am, ayah number 36. إنما يستجيب الذين يسمعون. Over here, if you see, there's a meme, a small meme on top. It says must stop. Why is that the case? Because if you don't stop here, if you stop somewhere else or in between, the meaning from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned here, that meaning would change. It is only those who listen to the message, إِنَّمَا يَسْتَجِيبُ الَّذِينَ يَسْمَعُونَ, whom will respond or benefit from it, and the dead disbelievers. So if you don't stop here, but if you stop here, wal mauta, if you see the asterisk is marked here, wal mauta, and the dead or disbelievers. So what will happen is the meaning will change to, it is only those who listen to the message whom will respond or who will benefit from it, and the disbelievers. So it's saying disbelievers and those who listen both will benefit from it, whereas that is not the case. Wal mauta, about that it is mentioned later on, يَبْعَثُهُمُ اللَّهُ ثُمَّ إِلَيْهِ يُرْجَعُونَ. Allah will raise them up, then to him they will be returned for their recompense. So you cannot stop somewhere where the meaning is going to completely change. Then stopping on a word which signifies opposite meaning of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants, like in Surah An-Nisa, ayah 43, if you stop here at Salah, the prayer, يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تقربوا الصلاة. If I stop here, what does it mean? O you who believe, يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تقربوا الصلاة, do not approach a salah. Now if I stop here, it's going to give an opposite meaning, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not saying this. What is mentioned here is, if you continue and read وَأَنْتُمْ سُكَارَى, when you are drunken, don't go near salah when you are drunken. That is what is meant here. So if you just stop here in between, you're going to change the meaning of the ayah. Or another example, فَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ عَلَيْهِمْ حَفِيظًا. So this is Surah Ash-Shura, ayah number 48. If we stop at we have not sent you, فَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاك, we have not sent you. This is going to completely change the meaning. Whereas the ayah says, we have not sent you, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as a hafiz, watcher or protector over them. That is to take care of their deeds and to recompense them. These stops, they obviously corrupt the meaning. So it's necessary for those who breathe, whose breath cuts off at these places, to go back one word or two words so that that phrase is joined together to its intended meaning. Then another one, if you stop on a place that signifies that which is not a suitable description of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or that which contradicts our creed or aqidah. Now here the asterisk for places that is not appropriate to stop. Even if you saw the previous ones, the English translation has an asterisk. It is showing you, if you stop here, what will happen? You're not supposed to stop here. The wrong stop is mentioned. Verily Allah is not ashamed. Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 26. If you stop here, Inna Allah la yastahi. Verily Allah is not ashamed. This is not a suitable description of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We cannot stop here. This contradicts our aqidah as well. What you need to do is, you need to continue this. You cannot stop in between. إن الله لا يستحيي أن يضرب مثلا ما بعوضة. Allah is not ashamed to set forth a parable even of a mosquito. That is what the ayah meant there. Then Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 258. If you stop at and Allah. فَبُهِتَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَاللَّهِ. If you stop like this, it's completely wrong, because what does it say? So the disbeliever was overwhelmed by astonishment and Allah. You're saying the disbeliever was overwhelmed by astonishment and Allah. That means Allah and the disbeliever were overwhelmed by astonishment. Na'udhu billah, nastaghfirullah. This is not how we are supposed to recite. So we have to continue. فَبُهِتَ الَّذِي كَفَرَ وَاللَّهُ لَا يَهْدِي الْقَوْمَ الظَّالِمِينَ. And Allah guides not the wrongdoing people. That's what is the meaning which is over here. Then you have next from Surah An-Nahl, ayah number 60. لِلَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْآخِرَةِ مَثَلُ السُّوءِ. Now if I just continue and stop at walillah, suppose there is a stop sign here. If I don't stop it, because it's allowed to continue, salli means you can continue. So if you say لِلَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْآخِرَةِ مَثَلُ السُّوءِ وَلِلَّهِ. If you stop like this, for those who for those who believe not in the hereafter is an evil description, and for Allah. Na'udhu billah, this is not what is to be recited. You have to say لِلَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْآخِرَةِ مَثَلُ السُّوءِ. For those who believe not in the hereafter is an evil description. Then stop if you want, so that the meaning is clear. وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى. And for Allah is the highest description. Or if you stop on a negative and the exception to it follows, like there is a negative here, فَعَلَّمْ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ. If I stop here, so no, O Muhammad, there is no deity, there is no God. This is Surah Muhammad, ayah number 19. It's, if you just stop there, it's like, and so no, O Muhammad, there is no deity, which is wrong. You have to say فَعَلَمْ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. There is no deity but Allah. Then Surah Al-Dhariyat, ayah number 56. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ. If you stop here, and I, Allah, created not the jinn and mankind, which is again a very wrong meaning. So you will have to continue. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. And Allah created not the jinn and mankind except that they should worship me alone. Especially these last two categories, which is the fourth and fifth, which is if you stop on a negative and there is an exception, and here this one, where a suitable description of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not being given, then that you have to especially avoid all these stops, and especially these the last two categories. There is another fifth category. This is arbitrary stop, waqfut ta'assuf. It follows waqful qabih. Some reciters stop on their own whims without following the meaning and grammatical makeup of the verse. Like in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 286, the asterisk is over here on you before you are our Mola. وَعْفُ عَنَّا وَاغْفِرْ لَنَا وَارْحَمْنَا أَنْتَ. If you stop here at and you, what does it mean? Pardon us and grant us forgiveness. Have mercy on us, you. So here it is an arbitrary stop. Here grammatically the makeup of the verse is cut off, so you cannot do a stop like this. If you want, you can stop here. Warhamna, wa'fu anna, waghfir lana, warhamna. Pardon us and grant us forgiveness. Have mercy on us. Anta maulana fansurna ala al-qawmi al-kafirin. You are our Mawla, patron, supporter and protector, and give us victory over the disbelieving people. Or if you see Surah Al-Ma'idah, ayah number 116. If you stop at no, I had no. قَالَ سُبْحَانَكَ مَا يَكُونُ. He will say, glory be to you. It was not for me to say Okay, this is the second no. It was not for me to say what I had no. So قال سبحانك ما يكون لي أن أقول ما. So if you just stop here at ma, I had no. It's again grammatically cut off. So you cannot stop here. He will say, Glory be to you. قال سبحانك ما يكون لي. It was not for me أن أقول ما ليس لي بحق, to say what I had no right to say. Now, the rule for waqf qabih, these stops and those similar to them, they are not allowed intentionally except when compelled, such as shortness of breath, sneezing, or forgetting. Now, after this, in this state, if the stop is done, after the state has elapsed, the reader must repeat one, two, or more words. It depends on how much is necessary to convey the correct and sound meaning or to complete the phrase. Now, Sheikh Ibn al-Jazari, who's the Imam al-Jazari, who's written the poem, which is Al-Muqaddimah Fima Yajibu ala Qari al-Quran أن يعلمه. He says about this, وغير ما تم قبيح وله الوقف مضطرا ويبدأ قبله. So inshallah, next class we will do the required stop, which is al-waqf al-lazim. Just let me see if it is more. Okay, so the next is on stop signs. So what I will do is I will just finish off this. The required stop. This is a stop on a word which explains the meaning, and the meaning will not be understood without the stop. If you don't stop here, the meaning will not be understood. It is called required, and it follows the waqful kafi. Now, there is a note here. Some tajweed books add a subcategory to complete and sufficient stop known as lazim. Now, Imam al-Jazari, he did not have these subcategories. So you should try to stop on al-tam and kaf stops. Inshallah, we will end the class over here. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.